Good afternoon, scholars. This afternoon's read aloud is taken from the Great Immigration Debate article, which was written February 19th, 2018. Before we begin the read aloud, I would like to introduce you to new vocabulary words you will come across in the article. Let's go to the graphic organizers. Get ready to complete your graphic organizer. Let's take a look at the new vocabulary words you will see in the lesson. Read aloud. The first word is immigration, the act of coming to live permanently in a foreign country. The next word, deportations, the action of deporting a foreigner from a country. Our third word is persecution, hostility and ill treatment, especially because of race or political or religious beliefs. Refugees, a person who has been forced to leave their country in order to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. Another word is undocumented, not recorded in or provided by documents. Quotas, a fixed share of something that a person is entitled to, receive, or is bound to. There you have it. These are the words you're going to come across in the read aloud. So let's begin. The Great Immigration Debate. America is a nation of immigrants, but we're forever arguing about who to welcome to our shores. Who gets to be an American? That's the question at the heart of the immigration debate that have consumed Washington, D.C. and the nation during President Donald Trump's first year in office. In that time, Trump has moved to reshape the United States immigration policy in a dramatic way. Trump has stepped up arrests and deportations of immigrants here illegally, including high-profile raids on 7-Eleven stores last month. He has announced that a program protecting young people who were brought to the United States illegally as children will soon end, unless Congress agrees on a deal to save it. He's reduced the number of refugees admitted to the United States to the lowest number in decades. And he started to talk about putting new restrictions on immigration. Considering what we have read so far, I'm going to pause and I'm going to ask some questions. In what ways has President Trump moved to reshape the immigration policy? I want you to really think about it. As you're thinking about it, I want you to also look at the pictures that are on the smartboard. Okay. Trump has moved by stepping up arrests of immigrations that are undocumented. Also, he has announced to end a program that protects kids who were brought over by their parents illegally. That's what you meant when you said brought over to their parents illegally. Because when you consider President Trump's new immigration arrest and his stance on immigration, we clearly know that based on what the article says, these are children who came into the country illegally. I'm going to continue reading. This is taken from Immigration Nation. I don't think we've seen a president focus on immigration quite like this one has, says Sarah Pierce of the Migration Policy Institute, a research group in Washington, D.C. The United States is a nation of immigrants, but Americans remain divided about what kind of immigration to allow, from where, and whether to permit people who come here illegally to stay. President Trump's intense focus on immigration issues and his controversial statements have raised the temperature of the debate. His pledge to build a wall along the entire U.S. Mexico border has been cheered by his supporters but criticized by many other Americans. His travel bans on people from 6 majority Muslim countries. Let me turn you to the article and show you. I want you to turn to that page now. Page 5. And here we see a picture of immigrants talking, standing by the border at the wall, reaching out and talking with family and loved ones. This is the current situation we're looking at from this article. I'll try to, there you go. Okay. As we consider the picture we just saw, the image, and we consider President Trump's position on who is allowed, what are some arguments in favor of allowing immigrants to the United States? Alrighty. Immigrants often fill jobs that most Americans don't want to take. Immigrants bring other talents to add to American culture. I can clearly see how you would come to that because this is what we just read in our read aloud. Good job. As we continue with our read aloud, I want to pull your attention on back to page 2, and the caption reads, "A Colony of Aliens." Conflicted feelings about immigrants go back to the nation's founding. In 1776, most Americans were immigrants or the descendants of immigrants from the British Isles. The majority were white Anglo-Saxon Protestant who came in search of economic opportunity or to escape political persecution. But the U.S. population has included Native Americans and a large number of Dutch, Spanish, Germans, in addition to Africans, who were brought against their will as slaves beginning in 1619. Americans have often been wary of welcoming foreigners, even before the nation's founding. Benjamin Franklin worried that German immigrants were taking over Pennsylvania. In 1751, Franklin referred to German newcomers as a colony of nations. We'll never adopt to our language and customs. I'm going to pause there again. How do these two terms imply different attitudes towards immigrants today? Okay. Tyrone. The word, okay, Tyrone, you're saying the word alien often has a negative tone. Okay. But you're also saying that while the word undocumented is more neutral? Okay. And it pertains more to a person's legal status. Very good. I'm going to also pause here. Now, scholars, I would like you to look at the images in the article. There's one image here that shows you a chart of where different images come from, their numbers, and the countries, the population, or I would say the amount of immigrants entering the United States. I want you to also consider the picture of families talking to each other through a wall. As we transition, I want you to consider this image. This is an image of immigrants then and immigrants now. If you recall, on Monday when we watched the video of Ellis Island, these are the captions of our early immigrants versus our immigrants today. And I say our because we're all from someplace different, and we discussed that on Monday. I would like you to look at the images of the article and pay close attention and consider the similarities and the difference. As you move on in your collaborative groups and peer share, I want you to continue to read the article and answer these two essential questions. And I want you to continue to compare the image shown on the smartboard, the then and now pictures. What do you notice about the picture as you're in your collaborative groups? I want you to have a discussion about that. What do you see then and now? And in your collaborative groups, answer these two essential questions. I hope you enjoyed this read aloud.